Neelakantam Kalamurtim Kalajnana Kalanashanam Namami Shirsa Devam. In this video, we will see the last part of Shatharudra Samhita. Sage Vyasa advises the Pandavas to worship Shiva. After losing their whole kingdom to Duryodhan in the gamble, Pandavas went to the forest accompanied by Draupadi. They started living in a place which was donated by Velotra's son. Duryodhan instigated sage Durvasa to torment the Pandavas. Sage Durvasa went to the place where Pandavas were staying, accompanied by thousands of his disciples. He demanded food from the Pandavas. How could have the Pandavas satiated from the hunger of thousands of people? Lord Krishna came to their rescue and saved them from being disgraced. As a result, Durvasa and his disciples went back satisfied. Lord Krishna advised the Pandavas to worship Lord Shiva, but they neglected that advice. As a result, their sufferings increased in magnitude. One day, sage Vyasa arrived there. The Pandavas gave a rousing reception. Considering Arjuna to be the most capable among the Pandavas, Vyasa taught him the method of doing Parthiva worship. Later on, Arjuna went to the Indrakil mountain to please Indra by his penance. Sage Vyasa preached Yudhishthira to remain firm on his virtuously and religiously. Arjuna's penance generated so much of heat that all the living creatures of the three worlds were unable to bear its scorching heat. All the living creatures of the three worlds went to Indra to seek his help. Indra went to Arjuna in the guise of a celibate and asked about the purpose for which he was doing penance. Arjuna told him that he wanted to defeat the Kauravas. Indra then told Arjuna that it was not in his capacity to help him achieve victory over the Kauravas because of Ashwatthama, who was a partial incarnation of Lord Shiva. Indra advised Arjuna to please Lord Shiva by his penance so that his wishes could be fulfilled. Indra then entrusted some of his men the job of Arjuna's security and went back to his abode. Arjuna commenced his penance to please Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva appears in guise of a Kirat and blesses Arjuna. Arjuna did a tremendous penance by standing only on one leg and concentrating his gaze upon the blazing sun. The deities became very impressed by Arjuna's penance. They went to Lord Shiva and requested him to bless Arjuna. Lord Shiva accepted their request. Duryodhan had sent a demon named Muka to kill Arjuna. Muka had disguised himself as a boar. Arjuna was engrossed in his meditation when suddenly his concentration got disturbed by a loud noise. He opened his eyes and saw Muka being chased by a band of Kirats. In fact, it was none other than Shiva who had appeared in the guise of Kirat. Both Arjuna and Lord Shiva struck the boar with their respective arrows at the same time. As a result, the boar was killed. Lord Shiva sent his Ganas to bring back the arrow. Similarly, Arjuna too went near the dead boar to bring his arrow. Arjuna found his arrow lying on the ground. He picked it up in his hand. Right then, the Ganas arrived there and asked Arjuna to return that arrow as it belonged to their master Shiva. But Arjuna refused to part with his arrow. Instead, he asked the Ganas to convey his challenge to their master to have a duel with him. The Ganas went back to Lord Shiva and narrated the whole story to him. Lord Shiva accepted Arjuna's challenge and went to fight him. His Ganas accompanied him. Arjuna defeated all the Ganas of Shiva. In the end, Lord Shiva came forward to have a duel fight with him. Shiva was very much impressed by his valor. He revealed his real identity. Arjuna was very ashamed that he fought with Shiva. Lord Shiva consoled him and gave his weapon Pashupat to Arjuna. The 12 Jyotirlingas. Describing about the 12 Jyotirlingas, Suta told the sages, there are 12 Jyotirlingas which are as follows: Somnath in Saurashtra, Mallikarjun in Srishail, Mahakal in Ujjain, Amareshwar in Omkar, Kedar in the Himalaya, Bhimashankar at the bank of Bhima river, Vishwanath in Varanasi, Triambakeshwar at the bank of Gautami river, Vaidyanath at Chitabhumi, Nagesh, which is between Darukavan Dwarika and Beta Dwarika, Rameshwar at Setuband, and Dushmesh in Shivalaya. These above mentioned 12 Jyotirlingas are considered to be very sacred. A devotee who pays a visit to any of these places and worship gets all his wish fulfilled. Out of these 12 Jyotirlingas, Somnath Jyotirlinga is believed to destroy the sorrows of moon. A devotee who worships this Jyotirlinga gets cured from incurable diseases like leprosy, etc., and enjoys all kinds of worldly pleasures and attains salvation. Similarly, having a darshan of Mallikarjuna helps a devotee to fulfill all his desires. Having a darshan of Mahakal at Ujjain helps a devotee to fulfill all kinds of desire and achieve salvation. Similarly, if a devotee merely touches the idol of Omkar Linga, then he achieves the desired fruits. Kedar Linga is situated in the Himalayas and is considered to be very sacred. Lord Shiva took his sixth incarnation as Bhima Shankara to kill the demon Bhima. This incarnation of Shiva took place at a place in Assam. The seventh incarnation of Lord Shiva was as Vishwanath at Kashi. This Jyotirlinga is considered to be very sacred and fulfiller of all the desires of a man. Lord Shiva took his eighth incarnation at the bank of river Gautami at the request of sage Gautam. This Jyotirlinga too is considered to be very sacred and a fulfiller of all the desires of a man. The ninth incarnation of Shiva was as Vaidyanath at Deoghar in Bihar. This Jyotirlinga was established by the demon king Ravana. A devotee who worships this Jyotirlinga gets all of his wishes fulfilled. Because of this, it is also known as Kamanalinga. Devotees carry the holy water of the Ganges to the idol of Vaidyanath in the months of Shravana and Bhadrapaksha according to the Hindu calendar. Lord Shiva took his 10th incarnation to kill the demon Daruk, who used to live in Daruk forest. A devotee who worships Nagesh never faces any calamity. The 11th incarnation of Lord Shiva was as Rameshwara Linga. This linga was established by Sri Rama while the construction of a bridge over the sea was going on. Having a darshan of this Jyotirlinga bestows both worldly pleasures and salvation. Lord Shiva took his 12th incarnation as Dushmeshwar after being pleased by Dushma, the wife of Sumedha. Having a darshan of this Jyotirlinga helps a devotee to fulfill all his desires. All the above mentioned 12 Jyotirlingas are very sacred and give the total accomplishment to the devotees. Thus ends the Shatharudra Samhita. Om Namah Shivaya.